And an Alice man is facing charges tonight after police say he stole an ambulance. Oddly enough, this also led to a number of folks to be without power for a little while tonight. It all started around 2 this afternoon when Jim Wells County deputies found the man lying unresponsive in a ditch out in the county. The deputies then called for an ambulance to transport the man to Christus Spohn Hospital Alice. And while staff there tried to treat the man, police say he jumped up and took off running, leading a hospital security guard on a chase around the hospital's parking lot before jumping into the ambulance and then driving off. The man was able to get a short distance away before then crashing the ambulance into a power pole and knocking out power to several residents. So if you were without power in that general area, this is why. Police say the man then ran several blocks before eventually being arrested.